What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Stella Ray Herself podcast. It is me, Stella Ray Herself. As always, don't forget to screenshot this or take an aesthetic boomerang or pic for your IG story. I will repost, retweet, all of that. Thank you to everyone who did last week. Thank you to everyone who listened. Love to see it. We have some good topics today because I finally started a new book, as I mentioned last week, and there have definitely been some gems. And when you actually want to sit down and read your book, it's like, okay, I know this book's but sometimes I'll start a book and I just never read it, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm probably just not that into it, because I know that when I am into it, I do want to take the time to read, and it's hard to admit. But, I feel like phones have definitely, having a phone, being addicted to my phone has definitely shortened my attention span. So sometimes it can be hard to sit down and actually read for an extended period of time. Who remembers when I did it was kind of trendy at the time. I mean, ish, but it was a dopamine detox, and it was basically just going a day without. I did without my phone and then without TV as well. But some people do it also without caffeine, without I don't know. You could get really into it. It's so interesting to have windows that actually face the street and what's going on, because it's just so interesting to watch people. It's where are y'all going? It's kind of constant tea. This is the life. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I kind of want to try doing that again. But I'm not even gonna say I make an effort to not be on my phone. I don't think I'm that addicted though, because sometimes I notice when I go out, there's definitely people that cannot put their phone down. But it's if I'm actually doing something, or if I'm hanging out with someone, or, my attention is on something else, someone else, I don't have the urge to check my phone. When I go back home and I'm staying with my family and I'm hanging out with them every day, talking to them every day. In New York, my screen time went down to 4 hours because I was just doing stuff every day. Because usually it's 7-8 hours. And that's just me on a regular day, not controlling, not being, I don't want to say not being conscious, but not making an effort to not be on it. That's just a free for all. So I don't know. I don't think I'm so addicted, but if I'm just in the house by myself on a regular day, yes, I will sit on the couch and watch TikTok for an hour. I will check my phone when I first wake up in the morning. I'm not going to pretend I don't, because I do. I live by myself. What do you expect? Otherwise I'm not really getting human interaction until I leave my apartment. So anyway, let me know what your screen time is down below. And if you're embarrassed, you can just say that and I'll understand. But yeah, it was the week after I came back from my trip and I got my notification, my screen time notification. It was your screen time has gone up 110%. Great. That's great. I'm actually exhausted today, which is terrible because I didn't even go out on 4th of July. But it's today I'm exhausted. And honestly, y'all know I love a Cancer, but I'm really over Cancer season. I feel it's just bringing me down. I just have not been having fun. When I do try to go out, I'm just not motivated to go out. I'm not really feeling social at all. I just basically want to stay home and cry. With that being said, I feel there's a stereotype of Cancers where they're so emotional and cry all the time. I think you're thinking of a Pisces, because Pisces is the only water sign that doesn't have, a defense mechanism and / a shell or protection, because it's just a fish. But a Cancer is a crab, so they have this hard exterior. They have pinchers. Cancers can be mean as hell, and they don't really show, at least in my experience, they don't really show emotion. It's if you offend them, like I feel like being sensitive and being like openly over emotional are like two different things. Because I feel like Cancers are pretty sensitive, but then it's like, it's not like they're gonna start crying in front of you. Like they're just gonna turn cold and like not talk, and then like maybe when they go home they'll cry. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like they're just like walking around crying all the time. So please stop this propaganda. They're actually really mean. Can be, you know. And same with like a Scorpio. You know, it's a Scorpion. So even though, you know, water signs tend to be more emotional or feel things more than like a different sign, it's like how they do that differs. They're not all just walking around crying all the time. So shout out to all the Cancers, love y'all, but it's like, do you feel me in the sense of, can we move on? Like, let me know what your sign is, and let me know how you feel about Cancer season, specifically this one. Like, I just really miss Gemini season. I just feel like life was fun, and now it's like, ew, why am I here? Like, I miss a New York City Gemini season. That was like really the best. Anyway, my Cancer, Venus, and Mars are shaking, but okay. Let's talk about this book, The Wisdom of No Escape. I'm actually like halfway through it. I mean, it's like a really short book. Not really short. I think it's like a little over 100 pages. It's pretty short. But basically, this book is just about, you know, it has a lot of like ideas of Buddhism in it. I don't want to say it's like a Buddhist book. I mean, kind of, but like, you know, just a lot about mindfulness, meditation, and just the idea of always coming back to like what is, and accepting ourselves and our lives like just as they are, and with everything. And, you know, the point of meditation or of mindfulness or spirituality or whatever isn't to like find true blissed out happiness, positivity all the time in every moment. You know, it's about accepting however we feel, or however our life is or feels like right now. And that includes when we feel bad, you know? So there was this part, dang, I should have marked it, but I was actually reading this in the bath the other day. First bath in my new apartment. One time I saw a tweet that was like, ew, you guys take baths in your rented apartments? And it's like, do you not clean your bathtub, your bathroom? Because when you think about it, everything's gross. Like, so just clean it. And like, does this person also feel that way about like going to the thrift store and like wearing clothes someone else wore? Like, just clean it good, and it's gonna be. Anyway, but yeah, first bath of this apartment, and luckily it wasn't too hot out. So that's like what was preventing me, because I was like, damn, you know, I can finally like sit on my ass and whatnot, but it's just been so hot out, I don't even want to take a bath. But it's like, you know, being back in the gym, my muscles be sore. I love taking an Epsom salt bath. I feel like it really does help. So I finally did it, and I actually woke up feeling more sore, so I don't really know if it did anything. It's like, damn, my body hurts. Basically, there was this part that was about joy, and like how, oh, here we go. I posted this part of this chapter on my story because this was really speaking to me. There's a story. Oh, well, let me preface by saying this. We can get so caught up in our own personal pain and worries that we don't notice that the wind has come up, or that someone has put flowers on the dining room table, or, you know, we just don't notice little things because we're so caught up in like our own dramas and like stories and whatever. Resentment, bitterness, and holding a grudge prevent us from seeing and hearing and tasting and delighting. There's a story of a woman running away from tigers. She comes to the edge of a cliff. Looking down, there's tigers below her as well. So she's like on this vine. A mouse starts chewing the vine, and she's gonna die. But then she sees that on the side of the cliff there's like some strawberries. So she chooses to pick a strawberry and eat it. And the point is like, This is actually the predicament we are always in terms of our birth and our death. Each moment is just what it is. It might be the only moment of our life. It might be the only strawberry we'll ever eat. We could get depressed about it, or we could finally appreciate it and delight in the preciousness of every single moment of our life. So I kind of liked that, because I feel like, I've been talking a lot about and thinking a lot about, this. I mean, it's like two things can be true at once, but embracing negativity and not striving for this, perfection, or this, I want to feel happy all the time, I want to feel good all the time, I want to feel my best all the time. It's like sometimes we feel tired, we feel off, we're angry, we go through all of our human experiences and emotions. But then this kind of like reminded me, like, there is something to be said about just joy and like appreciating the little things, because all we have is this moment. So when you're so caught up in like, oh, like my life is like so crazy and all this drama, it's like I'm so busy, it's like you just gloss over the little things that like add so much. You could just relax and realize that behind all the worry, complaint, and disapproval that goes on in your mind, the sun is always coming up in the morning, moving across the sky, and going down in the evening. The birds are always out there collecting their food and making their nests and flying across the sky. The grass is always being blown by the wind or standing still. Food and flowers and trees are growing out of the earth. There is enormous richness. You could develop your passion for life and your curiosity and your interest. You could connect with your joyfulness. You could start right now. Acknowledging the preciousness of each day is a good way to live, a good way to reconnect with our basic joy. I feel like especially, bitch, I be stressed out. I be having anxiety. I be worrying. So I feel like, if you're like that as well, I feel like that's just a good message. It's like, okay. It's like, yeah, this could happen. I could feel anxious. I could blah, blah, blah. But it's like, if you just kind of take a step back, just like, well, I still have these flowers from Whole Foods. At least right now, the sun is out. I can look out and see some trees. I can still breathe, It's like, is it really that dramatic? Is it really that bad? So just a good little reminder, But yeah, I would recommend this book for just like kind of a quick read. I think in the last podcast I said, I feel like all of us have read like the 4 Agreements, or like, not that this book necessarily reminds me of that, but just kind of in the sense that it's somewhat of a quick read, but has like a lot of good value and like messages. So we love that. So I'm definitely going to keep reading this. Y'all remember when I was reading The Way of Zen by Alan Watts? That book was good, but it was definitely a lot denser, and it was, low-key, hate to say, it was a lot harder to read, because it was just so, like, you had to like really kind of, at least from what I remember, I had to really figure out what he was saying. This is like very straightforward, like very, I think it's a newer book too, so it's more modern. The Way of Zen is like much older, and it was just very like, can we get to the point? Like, okay, we get it, but this is just straightforward, good, love to see it. So I wanted to talk about BBLs, more specifically, like, it was, BBLs were trending on Twitter, I think last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, because there was this video of like all these women in line for, boarding a plane, I think in the DR or somewhere, but they were all in wheelchairs, and I think it was a Delta flight, I don't remember, but they were saying, like, if you are able to walk, please walk. Like, all these women had just come out of surgery, they were all on their flight home, and I think BBLs were trending because so many people were, like, bullying these women and saying, like, oh my god, this is, like, crazy, this is, like, what does our society come to? I don't know. I didn't really see a lot of that, to be honest, because I don't follow people who would say something like that. I follow the bitches who get the BBLs and are open about it, So I did see some good takes about this, and I wanted to share also, like, as someone who has Yeah. But basically, I feel like there's this whole thing of like, fuck, and I feel like something happened while I was out, or a guy, something happened when I was out, when this guy made some kind of comment about like, oh yeah, I like this night at the club over this night because, you know, when, like, for the other night, everyone just stands around and nobody dances, and like, you know, it was something like, oh, when like rappers and athletes are in here, like all the women just want to hang out with the guys with money, and like, I just hate that shit, blah blah blah. But it was a little more specific than that. But it's like, I don't want to like expose, I don't know. But you get the vibe. So basically my thing is like, there's this whole fucking, people have so many issues with women and like want to pick apart women and critique women and like, you know, the men that we go for or what we choose to do with our bodies and our appearance. But it's like, if you actually had an issue with it, I feel like you should be looking at where these decisions come from, what they're based in, and bitch, the truth of the matter is they're all based in patriarchy. Y'all are going to critique our natural bodies and tear down our natural bodies. So then as soon as we, you know, decide to wear makeup or decide to get surgery or get injectables or whatever, suddenly we're like fake and like, oh my god, so high maintenance, and it's just like this terrible bad thing, and like, oh my god, we can just bully her now because, you know, she's just fake and like she's had so much work done, and it's like such a bad thing, and it's like, it doesn't even affect you, so why do you care? And then also like, I hate especially when dudes talk about it, because like dudes will say they prefer a girl without makeup or a natural body or whatever, but then it's like, once they actually see a woman without makeup or a natural body, it's like, oh, she's built bad. She, like, where's her ass? Or, oh my god, she has a gut. Or, where's her hips? Or, like, this is wrong with her. This is wrong with her. So it's like, y'all aren't doing either. You're not accepting natural bodies. You're not accepting plastic surgery bodies, like, when you know it's a plastic surgery body, you know? So, again, it's like, if you actually cared, you would be like looking beyond the individual. Same for, you know, oh, they just want dudes with money. Like, females don't want to build anymore. They want a guy who's already established. And it's like, okay, but you are looking up to all these same athletes and rappers, and that's your big bro, and that's your inspo, and like, you want to be like him. Like, I swear, men are bigger groupies than women, because that's who they want to be. And I'm sure y'all have heard of the idea of like, men only really do things as in like make money, I don't know, by design, or get women to impress other men, because our society is based around men. It's a patriarchal society. So if y'all actually had an issue with any of these things, you should be looking to like dismantle patriarchy and not, you know, quote tweet a woman's pic like, you're built bad, or like, I prefer natural bodies, sorry love. Like, nobody asked. I don't know. But same goes for like anyone, like, even if you're also a woman and you find yourself getting turned, I don't want to say like turned off, but just like, if you automatically want to like critique another woman for getting her body done, or wearing more makeup than you, or not wanting to date a guy that doesn't make more money than her, it's like, what is bothering you? What is actually like bothering you? Are you mad because like, I don't know, I don't get it, because I don't relate. Like, the thing is, our looks are really treated as like a social currency, and the more societally acceptable we look, the better we're going to be treated, and the better our lives are going to be. Like, pretty privilege is real. And denying that is just like dumb, to be honest. And then there's the whole thing of like, oh, we'll go against it, and, you know, like, oh, well, I want to dismantle patriarchy, so I'm going to pay for my half of the date. It's like, I think I've talked about this before too, but it's like, Men are not looking at it like that. They're just looking at it as like, oh, now I don't have to pay for this bitch, so she's gonna let me fuck, she's gonna whatever, and I still don't have to, you know, take, like, bring my share of the patriarchy. So it's like both parties, both partners, whatever, both people have to be on the same page of like, let's not go with this, you know, traditional way of life, I don't know, system, or, you know, both have to just accept the societal roles and just do it. Like, you can't really do both. You can't, like, like, you can try, but you're going to be exhausted, and what are you really going to gain? Because, like, you're just going to be, like, I don't know. It's just, like, make your life easier, you know? It's like, y'all know how I feel about, I don't know, I was going to say marriage. I guess that's, like, one of the easiest things, or more, like, most specific things to, like, reference. But it's, like, a lot of the times, you know, unless the man is, like, paying all your bills and, like, taking care of you financially, providing you with the home, etc., it's, like, what are you gaining? Because women are, you can look it up, there's statistics. I don't have them off the top of my head, but it's a lot. Women are always stuck with, like, more domestic labor, emotional labor. You know, if there's children involved, the women are obviously taking care of the children more. And there's just a lot of inequality when it comes to that. And then it's just like, oh, my wife just sits at home all day and I have to, like, make money. Like, this is unfair. And it's like, okay, you try then. Like, it's just all this, like, unpaid domestic, emotional, etc. labor, unpaid, undervalued, like, just looked over. But, like, then we're the problem when we try to go along with patriarchy and, like, be like, okay, I want to look better so I can, like, you know, essentially have a better life for myself and, like, you know, hopefully meet a guy that makes a lot of money so I can have a secure life. Oh, these fake bitches these days, like, all they value is material items. It's like, that's literally patriarchy. Like, so it's just a lot. You know, all of this can come from a BBL. A lot of thoughts. So it's just so much deeper than that. It's so much deeper than, like, females these days just want to be fake and, like, they only want guys with money. It's like, look at history, look at patriarchy, look at gender roles. What do you expect from a woman? Like, I'm sure your list is really long, and I'm sure you are not. But then also, like, if you're anyone, like, not just guys, but, you know, a lot of women can be very, have so much, like, internalized misogyny and just, like, also be, it's not, like, on a personal level, it's also just, like, be so judgmental. And it's like, again, if you actually cared, you would not be, like, blaming the individual, like, ranting about it's, and also, why is it always the woman's fault? Like, I don't know, it's just, it's a lot. But I guess what we can do is, like, you know, when we feel ourselves react emotionally to whatever idea it may be, like someone getting their body done, or a man paying all of someone's bills, or maybe someone splitting the bills. It's like, how does that make us feel and why? And then, like, what can we do in our lives to, like, make our lives better? What can we do to gain something from a man? Ultimately, that's the question I pose today. What did you do? What did you gain today from a man? Ask yourself. And no, the answer cannot be trauma. What have I ever gained? Okay. Yeah, so just, like, quick cue to the audience. With that being said, I do have a BBL update, a 3-month update coming soon. My ass has definitely gotten softer. I don't think it's at 100% yet, but it's definitely softer. My midsection, especially my sides, are still really sore. I'm going to explain all of this in the video, but just like quick update. It's going to be like an in-depth video. And then I think at 6 months, I'll do like a Q&A. But point is, it's really like, this is a lot on your body. The fact that it's like 3 months later and I'm still just, yeah. And I'm still like sore and it hurts a little bit. Not so much to the touch, but like, I explain some of my whatever. But like certain yoga poses, like twisting hurts. Working out is like fine. But just like twisting or like, I don't know. It's almost like this pinching feeling on my sides because they're still like tender. Ew. So it's also crazy that it's always just looked at as like this, just like, oh, just this thing. Oh, she got surgery. Oh, blah, blah. And it's like, no, all of these women had to like go through this. Like, you know, it's kind of a lot. Like, fuck. Oh my God. And then I was watching, this is why like implants scare me. Well, Real Housewives of New Jersey season 2, but basically like she had to get her breasts redone. She had already had them done 3 times. But one of them, like, I forget what it's called. It wasn't, like, cancerous or anything, but it was, like, bad. Something bad had happened. I don't know if the implant shifted or whatever, but then there was all this, like, scar tissue because the body is trying to, like, protect the rest of your body. Trying to protect the rest of your body so it, like, covers or surrounds the implant with, like, scar tissue, I think, or like, you know, just protective fatty tissue. So one of her boobs was just like deformed. It's like, yeah, it's like a foreign object in your body. Like if you don't, it's like obviously do your research, bitch, like go to a good doctor and I'm sure you would be fine. But so I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I would do that. I've said it before and I got asked in my BBL Q&A, would you get your titties done? I think the only way I would do that is if I had kids. After I had kids, my titties like had changed a lot and I just didn't really like them. Right now, it's like small titty gang, but it's like most of the time I really like it because I don't have to wear a bra most of the time and I feel like it's like in some tops or dresses, I feel like if I had like bigger boobs, this would be poppin', but I feel like the amount of clothes I can wear or tops I can wear. Is that a pink Rolls Royce? I'm not kidding. Is that Trish? Wait, Trish, quick cue. How do you feel about frenemies? Oh my God, wait. So that's just me, but I mean, everyone has what they want. If that's your thing that you want to do it, but like do it because you want to and do your research and go to somewhere good. Anyway, make someone else pay for it, to be honest. When you have to pay for your own BBL. Anyway, I'm exhausted. I'm ready for cancer season to be over. I'm going to get a laser facial later today, so that's like my main thing of the day. But, you know, it's Thursday when I post this, so I hope everyone has been having a good week. Today is Monday, so whenever you're listening to this, because maybe you're not listening to it the day it came out, I hope you have a good day, a good rest of your week. Let me know what you want me to talk about in the next episode. I still want to do a relationship Q&A, like advice video, you know, with my mindset currently and my knowledge currently and all of that. Anyway, thank you all for listening. I can't wait to see your screenshots, and I will see you guys next week.